So transforming construction with MySmartPlans, co-founder, and like we're on this mission. Our new thing is information governance.
Oh.
Like, oh my gosh, that's such a brilliant thing, information governance, because that's what we've been doing all along, but someone tagged us that. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. So anyway, so today we have Tricia, and I'm saying your last name's Kagerer. Is that right?
Kagerer, yes.
Kagerer, okay. Anyway, so do a little quick intro, and then we'll get into whatever we want to talk about.
Okay, well, it's so good to see you again. I'm Tricia Kagerer. I am the EVP of Risk Management and Safety for Jordan Foster Construction, and I'm also on a journey to empower women in non-traditional roles in the workplace. So I wrote a book called The B Words, 13 Words Women Must Navigate for Success.
Yeah, and before we started the recording, we were talking about your first book. So I met you 10 years ago, we decided, and I don't even know how I went about meeting you. I don't know do you remember how we met the first time?
We were at a conference, I think it was Marsha Weeder. Was it a speaking, inspiring speaker conference? And you and I were there.
In California?
I can't remember where it was. Might have been in California.
Well, anyway, it's so funny because
it was in San Diego, maybe.
Oh my gosh, I'm still friends with one of the other guys that was there.
Eric Haft?
Yes.
Okay, so yes, I see him on Facebook too. I met the two of you at the same time and we had coffee.
Yeah, and he is now a comedian in New York. Did you know that?
Well, that was his dream back in the day. He was already working towards it. So yeah.
Oh my gosh. I was like, where did we ever meet? Because we kind of had that instant connection thing, you know, when you meet someone, you're like, oh, soul sister. Okay. Yeah. And then as I was getting ready for the call, I'm like, where did we meet? How did that happen? And oh my gosh, what a journey you and I have been on. Are you kidding me? Now, how long have you worked at your current position?
I've been back in the construction side of things for 2 years now. So I left. I was working for a contractor. It's the same one actually, but with a different ownership structure, CF Jordan. And then I went to an insurance company for 7 years and then came back in October, 2 years ago.
And so here you are today. And wouldn't it be fun to like whiteboard our journeys for the last 10 years? Because we've really been on the same journey. You just were able to articulate in a book. I've been like articulating like, okay, how am I going to do this? Because it is in this industry, it is crazy what we experience. And it's also in some people's mind status quo. Like we believe this is what we should tolerate. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just been a thing that we've tolerated. It's just this thing. Yeah. And oh my gosh, I laugh that I'm going to write a Netflix series because it's totally starting in a garage and bootstrapping my company for 15 years is unheard of. I didn't know it was a miracle that we've already been here this long, but having people like you in my life that, not that I've reached out and said, hey, I need to talk to you. I just see you. I follow you. I follow your book. I'm like, okay, I got this support around me. And I think as a woman, that's what we need is just that support around us that, bam, not that we have to talk every day, not that we have to cry on each other's shoulders, but just the support of, here we are. Okay, so when you were writing your B words, how did you find the B words that you chose?
So, well, the original title was From Babe to Bitch.
Oh.
So I had this idea that, you know, as you grow older in your career, you become more of a professional and an expert in what you do, and you're more comfortable in your own skin. As I grew in my leadership skills and my expertise, suddenly everything shifts, right? And especially in an industry where I was the only woman in the room, a lot of times it was just, well, who the hell does she think she is? You know, she's a bitch.
Yes.
And as an emotional person, that kind of bothered me. But then I realized I had so much more to say, and it became like this. The book is really follows the trajectory of a woman's life. So it starts with beliefs. That's the first chapter, and it's about limiting beliefs. What is society? What is the construction industry? What is everything outside of you telling you what you can't do? And then what are you telling yourself? Inhibition. So, and if you can tap into that, you can kind of decide what you want your life to look like and how you want your life to be. And then I have a chapter in there called Babe. It's when you're starting out and if you choose to start a family, how do you navigate all of that and those decisions while you're still wanting to have a career if you want to. So the beliefs chapters is the core. I go into, there's one you mentioned, bonds. So I called it bonds because that's really just about networking and having people that you can reach out to and know that not only are they going to support you, but they're going to empower you on becoming the person that you want to be. And I would consider you one of those people for me, because as the few women in the room all these years, the construction industry still has only 1% of executives are women. 1% to this day.
You know what also has been amazing to me, Tricia? So because we're solving all these problems, I thought when I found another woman in a position that would be able to say, yeah, they're also doing status quo. Well, it's almost still like, well, I'm afraid to make a decision because I have such a responsibility to outperform that what if I get it wrong? Mm-hmm. And so I've just been like, what? Okay. You know, I mean, so what does getting it wrong mean, right? I mean, okay, what is getting it wrong? Not trying is getting it wrong, in my opinion, but go ahead, I'm listening.
Well, it's interesting you said that because one of the things that I found out during the research of the book is why is it that they're the 1%, if it's someone who's made it, what prevents them from reaching back and creating that pipeline or bringing a bridge of people with them that look different and are, whether it be women, whether it be diversity, what stops them? And there's some studies that show sometimes it's if you were the one that made it in this very male-dominated industry, you're just holding on to where you got to, and you're just trying to survive. Yeah. And I've actually felt that way sometimes in my career. It's like where it's almost like a game of chess, and if you go back and do too much, you push too far, you may lose the ground that you've achieved already. So that can play into the reasoning behind why you can't make that decision, why you can't move forward, because you're just grasping on to hold on to what you've accomplished. Yeah. And then women also in general we play differently in the ways we bond, the ways we network than men do. And we are afraid of taking risks. Once you get to a certain age, it's like, well, look, and I'm responsible for the world. I'm responsible for kids. I'm responsible for my aging parents and whoever else is in the line of responsibility. How can I even dare to let go to reach for something more when I'm trying to hold where I've gotten to so far?
Yeah. Well, you know, I just spoke at a conference in Georgia, and it was about the pitfalls of construction, which, I know about the pitfalls. I know about corruption. I've seen, like, the stuff that I've seen is so alarming to me. So before the conference, I get a phone call from the moderator, and he goes, look, I'm going to have to tamp you down a little bit. I was just like, tamp, like I was playing dumb, like tamp, like TAMP or trampoline. What is the tamp thing? And he's like, well, you know, you're going to have to tamp it down. I mean, you can't just get up there and talk about what you're talking about. And I'm like, I'm willing to talk about problems. I also am willing to talk about solutions. So anyway, so it was so funny on the panel. It was all tall white men. And anyway, it was hilarious. He sat me next to him. And so anyway, before the thing, I said, well, you can turn off my microphone, but doesn't mean I'm going to stop talking. So anyway, he was just like, you could see him up there like, oh God, I cannot control her. So then afterwards, I was very professional. I did a disclaimer. I'm not here to sell anything. I'm not successful unless you're successful. But I know some stuff, you know. Well, anyway, so after the thing, I asked him. I said, so how did I do with my tamp down? How did you feel about tamping me down? He goes, well, I was really afraid I was going to have to reel you in a couple times. And I thought, oh my God. He doesn't even know he's a chauvinist.
Mm-mm.
He doesn't even know that what he said to me was so disparaging. But what he doesn't know about me is I'm going to go tell that story to any freaking buddy that will listen. And sorry, dude, I'm probably going to take your job one day, or you're probably going to work for me. And this is just what happens. I'm sorry. You not hiring me does not stop me. It just means I'm going to go to I've been to the FAA. So now we're considered as an eligible expense whenever they're building any airport.
Wonderful.
So wow. But you know what's funny is because we allow for everyone to be held accountable. They're just like, well, we have it handled. And I'm like, can you show me how you have it handled? Mm-hmm. Well, no, I'm like, I'm from the show me state. So show me, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. But it's been so amazing because women, we have this community of we want to do better for our families. Mm-hmm. And everybody that's in our circle, we consider as a part that they want to do better for their families. Right. But it's not true. Mm-hmm. It's not true.
It's probably not. I wish it was, right? That's if we were all in this together for the benefit of everyone and our families, then and money would flow as well. Yeah. It's just a limiting belief that it has to be for your own benefit first and foremost before everyone else. That's not a successful way to run businesses.
I want the person beside me. I have, I guess, 3 women that are in my line of my, coworkers. Uh-huh. And I can trust them. One of them, Chelsea, she has a family. I'm like, just work whenever you can work me in. And she is amazing because her family she still has young children, but I'm like, you're so dedicated because she's dedicated to her family. Mm-hmm. So she's dedicated to me because I facilitate her having what she has. You know what I'm saying? She's amazing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think we're rewriting the world, but I think it's just one at a time. We're just making steps, and disparaging comments that men think they're trying to control us is not going to work out.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it's going to get to, especially after everything we've been to in the last 2 years with COVID. So there's been a mass exodus of women from all industries because somebody had to take care of the families and then become teachers of their children and everything else. It's been really, really rough. Yes. And those organizations that don't realize that flexibility is not just good for women, it's good for everyone. And being in a culture where you feel like it's okay to be yourself and be authentic and show up at work to be appreciated and to give it your absolute best. Yeah. With the parameters of my family and my relationships are important to me. Yeah. Those are going to be the companies that succeed. Yeah. I don't believe that with all the things that have happened and then the generational change of what priorities are, that this bro code culture, that's another B word, it's going to continue. Yeah. I hope it doesn't take a generation to change. I hope that we can continue to push and to continue to make these changes because it makes good business sense. Yeah. But one way or the other, I do believe that as the generations evolve, the companies that get it are going to be the ones that survive.
You want to come work with me?
Sure.
What's Mr. Jordan's phone number? Excuse me, I'm stealing your number 1 employee. Thank you.
Actually really happy where I'm at right now. I'm having a lot of fun.
No, I'm not teasing. I'm like, oh my gosh. I sometimes women don't stop and look where they came from. We just keep our feet moving. Yeah. We just okay, going. And then whenever you stop and go, what? Wait, what did I do? Wow. Okay, let's go. But I want everybody to, one of my missions is because it's a male dominated industry, for the men to be they don't know what they've missed in this industry because the coping skill is alcoholism. Suicide is a really big deal, but so many of them are asked to stretch the truth or move the truth, or it's just I get this thing that when you move the fence at work, it moves at home. There isn't a demarcation.
No.
You know, it's like, do the right thing here, do the right thing here.
Yeah.
And in that capacity, a lot of times people don't realize the generational curse they're creating, because the kids that aren't getting that nurturing bond with their male parent, they don't know what they're missing as an adult when they have children.
No,
so
absolutely.
Look what we're doing. We're changing a generation. Oh, I mean, I am on a personal mission. I have grandsons, and I'm always talking to them. I'm like, oh no, we're still going to be kind. Matter of fact, I got this awesome shirt at the Gap. It says, choose kindness.
I love it.
Kind, but do not disparage me.
Yeah.
I mean, I will know when your lips are moving if you're going to say something that's not kind. I will definitely say to you, excuse me, I'm going to have to pull a B word out.
There you go.
But I mean, didn't your babies, aren't they both in college now? Are you an empty nester?
Been an empty nester for a while. My son is an attorney now in Houston, and he's launched officially. And then my daughter's got one more year at Texas A&M. Whoop.
And what is she studying?
Biomedical engineering. She's a smart one.
Look what you did. You have these two amazing children. I 10 years ago, you still had little kids, but you were still on a mission. I mean, yeah, it's just so amazing to watch what you've done and where you're going.
Well, thank you. You too. You're amazing too. I mean, I remember you were just getting started when we first met. So, yeah.
Yeah, talk about the whole Netflix series of, I want to, Schitt's Creek is a taken series, but I'm just like, it would apply. Like, are you shitting me?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What do you want us to do?
Yeah.
No. Well, we have our first, so the Air Force, it took the Air Force 7 years to get the Corps of Engineers to mandate us.
Wow. Okay.
I know, 7 years. So like something about women and our tenacity and our like fortitude oh my God. Anyway, so 7 years we drove back and forth to San Antonio. We got to where we'd drive because the Air Force would say, can you be here on Tuesday? And we're like, yeah. So we would drive. So we stopped at Buc-ee's. That should be one of your B words.
Yes, I love Buc-ee's.
I love Buc-ee's. I'm like, are you kidding me? The B word there is bathrooms are clean. I mean, that's a whole other addition. Yeah. Anyway, but so 7 years back and forth, the Corps of Engineers would have us down at Little Rock. And every time I went to the Corps of Engineers, most of the men in the room would go like this. Right? And so it took one woman, I'm gospel truth, sat at the front of the table and she goes, this is what we're doing. And why aren't we doing this on every single project? And I was like, what she said. Well, then the project finished 3 months ahead of schedule, no modifications, and the red zone ready was done. Guess who's in the picture at the ribbon cutting? Me.
Ooh, there you go. But
it was because I asked to be in the picture. But I'm saying the womanhood was just like, excuse me, do you mind if I'm in the picture while you're doing that? They're like, yeah, not a problem. Well, all of the men in the room were just like, she is not supposed to be in that picture. We're the general contractor, the architect. Why is she standing in that picture? Because I was the only one that asked.
That's badass. That's badass. That's a badass chapter.
And he's like, Shelley, I like that you wore the tan jumpsuit because it kind of goes with the camo that they have on. But typically you wouldn't be in the picture. I'm like, I'm in the picture because I reinvented and I saved the government millions of dollars. So I'm in the picture.
Good for you.
I'm bold too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very bold. Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like the more we stand up for ourselves, the bolder we become, the more powerful we become, the more willing, right? I mean, willing to be bold, willing to be bonded. I mean, I love what you're doing. Oh my gosh. I'm just like, I don't know. It sounds so weird to be connected with someone that you haven't seen in 10 years, but I feel such a connection to you.
I do too. But I've always felt connected to you, even, from the distance. So social media has been helpful in that way to show what people are doing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So when you meet Carol W.,
okay.
It's Workachowski, and I don't say her name a lot because I always feel like I'm going to butcher it. But it's almost like a mandate for you guys to have lunch, and because she's another, oh my gosh, she is like cutting rugs. I mean, now she's in the environmental space. She was a city architect. She started a thing called iLinkUp, which is a link up of communities. Like your company would definitely want to facilitate and be a part of what she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
But now, are you still in Dallas?
I am in Dallas, yes.
Okay, she's in San Antonio. So how far away is that? 4 hours?
It's about 4 hours, but I go there for work quite a bit. So yeah, so I'll definitely reach out to her.
Yeah, I'm going to do, and you know what? I just did a podcast with her and forgot to hit the record. So I have to do another podcast because I'm like, Carol, are you kidding me? But anyway, well, I appreciate you. I love your book, The B Words.
The B Words. Mm-hmm.
The B Words. And I can't wait to see what you're going to come out with next. I can only imagine.
I'm not sure yet. I've got 3 different ideas toying around in my head. It'll definitely be something related to women's leadership for sure. So I'm either going to do a sequel of the B Words, or I have this other idea about skiing and business. Kind of like what you said about remember how far we've come.
Yeah.
One of the things about, I love to ski. I'm not a great skier, but it's my hobby, the sport hobby that I have. And when you make your way down a mountain, you should always look up and see how far you've come because it's an accomplishment. And so good to see you. Thank you for the opportunity. And we have to get together again.
Yes. I'll let you know next time.
Later. Take care. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.